Hey folks, Matt from RTheImage.com. I've had a lot of feedback on my video here between the Canon 1DX Mark II and the Nikon D5, the one I titled Canon 1DX Mark II Slaughtered by the Nikon D5. And yeah, sure, it was a provocative title. But I think, aside from all the silly comments from fanboys who are saying, oh, you're paid by Nikon and you hate Canon. No, I just had some points I wanted to point out. I'm sad Canon doesn't seem to be coming to market with a killer sensor. I'd like to see them regain the top of the hill, make everybody else strive to the top. But to address a lot of the comments that weren't silly fanboy comments like that, a lot of people were saying, well, your points about ISO are ridiculous because those are super high ISOs and you'll never shoot at that ISO level and things like that. And I'd like to just point out, I thought I made clear what I was getting to there in the video, the previous video, is that it's not that I think that the highest setting on the Nikon, the 3.3 million, will be a level that I would want to shoot at. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if the max the camera does, this is traditional on almost all cameras, you know that if it's set, the max is here, that probably 2 or 3 settings back is where you're probably going to be comfortable, maybe even 4, maybe 5. It just depends on your comfort level and on the camera's performance, on what your top level that you're comfortable shooting at is. So my point is that the Canon's is only at 409,000 for its top level, the Canon 1DX Mark II. The Nikon's is at 2.3 million. So if you dial it back, you're still going to be much higher on the Nikon D5 than you are in the Canon 1DX Mark II for a clean level that you're happy, comfortable shooting at. And, you know, for some people have also said, oh, well, nobody ever shoots at high ISOs. You would if your camera was that high. That's why all the newer cameras keep selling and why people buy them and why pros buy them, because you get the ability to shoot at higher ISOs. That's why the Nikon D3, the D700, when they came out, they dethroned the Canons because their high ISO was incredible. And event photographers, wedding photographers, sports shooters, they wanted the ability to shoot at those insanely high ISOs. And now we've got even higher ISOs. So I don't think it's legitimate to say you're never going to shoot at those high ISOs anyways, because you certainly will if you're a wedding photographer, if you're an event photographer, if you're a sports photographer, and you're able to shoot there because the image is clean at those ISOs. If it wasn't clean, sure, you're not going to use them. But these cameras are giving you, every new one that comes out has better high ISO. I'm just saying that the Nikon's ability is much higher than the Canon 1DX Mark II's. So when you dial them both back to your comfort level, you're still going to have much more high ISO, low light ability out of the Nikon. You're also going to have another stop of low light autofocus out of the Nikon, which helps when you're wanting to shoot with that low light ability. So that's what I was getting at. Aside, you know, all the comments aside that are just, you know, you're getting paid by Nikon. I wish I was. And, you know, you hate Canon. I don't hate Canon. I look at my videos on, recent videos on the T6i and the T6s. I think those are very good cameras. I think the Canon 70D is stellar in its revolutionary autofocus, the dual pixel autofocus for video. Where I am sad with Canon is they just seem to be falling behind. They used to be king of the hill on sensors, and now they can't seem to catch up or beat Nikon and Sony sensors. I mean, granted, most of the Nikon sensors are Sony spec sensors, but they can't seem to get up past them and regain the throne or the title there. That's my point. And all else being equal, yeah, of course you're going to want a camera that's got better high ISO abilities. Who wouldn't? You know, if you're offering, if everything else is equal, I'm going to take the camera that shoots better in low light. So that was my point. What do you guys think? Do you agree with me there or disagree? Do you understand what I'm getting at here? You know, because I think it's a very valid point. One just is going to shoot better high ISO levels. I'm not saying the Canon 1DX Mark II is going to be a slouch. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad camera. I think it'll be a great camera. I just don't think that you're going to see it performing at as good high ISO levels as the Nikon. The Nikon's going to have, my guess is from what we're seeing here, even just on the differences in range, the Nikon's going to have 2 to 3 stops better high ISO than the Canon 1DX Mark II. Anyways, leave your comments below, and thanks for tuning in, folks. Stay tuned. We'll be back soon here at artoftheimage.com.